Hello, I am Patrick Langley, and welcome to my research prospectus on how does the Mediterranean ketogenic diet alter cardiovascular risk factors versus a classical ketogenic diet in obese males ages 25 to 65 years old. Cardiovascular disease claims 2,300 lives per day. That accounts for 1 in every 3 deaths that are attributed to cardiovascular disease. CVD risk factors that are looked at in this study include high-density lipoprotein, or HDL, obesity, and the male gender. This study will focus on the Mediterranean ketogenic diet and the classical ketogenic diet on cardiovascular-related risk factors. The statement of purpose is to determine which of the two diets, the Mediterranean ketogenic diet or the classical ketogenic diet, are more effective in changing HDL levels in obese males ages 25 to 65 years old. In review of the literature, a study that looked at the alterations between the ketogenic diet and Mediterranean diet found that those who stayed on the Mediterranean diet were able to maintain ketogenic-related weight loss versus not staying on the diet. In another 2014 study that looked at high-density lipoproteins, or HDL, in the prevention of cardiovascular disease, found that HDL was inversely associated with cardiovascular risk factors. In a review study of CVD risk factors in animal and human studies, found that the effects of ketogenic diets and risk factors are positive, and that further studies of optimal macronutrient composition are needed for different types of ketogenic diets and cardiovascular disease-related risk factors. The research and null hypothesis is a type of ketogenic diet will not significantly change cardiovascular patients' HDL levels. The research hypothesis is a type of ketogenic diet will significantly change cardiovascular patients' HDL levels. The quantitative design will gather continuous interval data specific to HDL cholesterol for the changes in means and post and pre-intervention. The study design is equivalent to non-equivalent control group design. For validity purposes, cardiologists at Duke University Medical Center will be requested in partnership for CVD patients to participate in the study as a choice between the two diets. Physicians will withdraw serum related to HDL levels and provide this information for the protection of participants. Registered dietitians will educate the two groups on diet tolerance and compliance. The time frame will be measuring HDL levels pre-test on day 1 and post-test on day 90. Statistical analysis will look at the changes in HDL levels from increasing or decreasing HDL levels. The independent t-test will look at the variations in how each diet affects the risk factor HDL. The G-power analysis will utilize a medium effect size of 0.5, alpha of 0.05, and a total sample of 176 participants and 88 in each group or arm. The participants with CVD or cardiovascular disease diagnoses will also be obese. Therefore, criteria for the study will include only males between the ages of 25 to 65 years old with a BMI greater than 30 kilograms per meter squared. The correlation coefficient will be used in both groups to see if the diet is correlated with HDL cholesterol changes in a positive benefit to the participant. Descriptive statistics will simply look at height, weight, and calculate BMI for inclusion and exclusion of the study. Those with a BMI less than 30 will be excluded. Those with a BMI of 30 or greater will be included in the study. The participants will have the right to choose between the two types of diets, as is warranted by the participation in the study, and the participants will need to be diagnosed with cardiovascular disease in order to be considered for the study. Ethics are taken into consideration for the entirety of the study. The processes for the study will abide by the rules set forth in the Belmont Report of Respect, Justice, and Beneficence. There is no conflict of interest at this time. Ethics for human research are acknowledged and considered. Informed consent is provided to the participants before being able to continue the diet-related interventions. Gift cards are also mentioned prior to the informed consent and completion of the study at one's best ability and personal free will. Expected findings include: based on previous research of the effects of a Mediterranean ketogenic diet, that it will provide greater benefits to HDL cholesterol development. As well, it is expected that there will be a correlation between the Mediterranean ketogenic diet and HDL cholesterol levels. The implementation of the study design is that nutrition professionals may implement this diet as a dietetic intervention for future treatments of cardiovascular disease versus traditional treatments of pharmaceuticals, including statins, blood pressure medication, etc. Limitations of the study do not include consideration of the HDL increases that come from taking statins that are common in cardiovascular patients. Serum ketone levels also were not measured pre and post to determine if the participants were actually in a state of ketosis, and other lifestyle factors such as physical fitness or stress management for exercise were not considered in this test. Therefore, these are limitations that should be considered for future studies. Have a happy and nutritious day.